how we can like launching more marketing team without code. That is a major like problem.
What was your mindset starting GemPages? Was it more like a side project from the start, or like I'm going all in and I'm gonna make it as big as I can?
I start very small. Everything I'm trying to build to bring value and trying to solve the real problem. Every state of growth, we need a different strategy. For example, like in the early days, we can like to pay attention to the product and the service. But when you have the branding, when you have a lot of competitor coming and building maybe the same product like you, offering the same services and completely directly to you.
Do you see any difference in customer behavior when it comes to the Asian and the European or the US market? Like people who are buying things online, are there some patterns that are differently?
Yeah, a lot of different because
Hello, everyone who's watching this. Today I'm speaking with Chris, the founder of GemPages. If you are in the Shopify space, you've probably come across GemPages before. Today it's trusted by more than 160,000 merchants worldwide. We'll definitely talk about some of the exciting things happening at GemPages, including the latest features and the upcoming e-commerce event Chris is hosting. But what I'm personally most interested in is the story behind this success. How do you go from an idea to building a product used by more than 160,000 merchants? What were the biggest challenges, the biggest wins, and what did Chris learn along the way? Chris, thank you so much for taking the time and great to have you
yeah,
here.
thank you, my friend, for inviting me to the podcast program. So I'm very excited to be here. Yeah, so let's introduce a little bit about myself. So basically, I'm Chris and I'm from Vietnam. So maybe you guys may be surprising. Okay, so why Vietnam? Like and why like there are a lot of the Shopify app in the Vietnamese communities. So I think that Vietnam, China, and India is among a very like active e-commerce community here, and that needs a very great environment for us, like to learn from e-commerce and to build more like e-commerce tool for community here, and then for Shopify as well. We are GemPages, and we has been in the Shopify space for 10 years so far. That is such a long time. And I would say that I'm very, thankful for Shopify to create the community, the space for all of the app builders like us to build the, software for Shopify brand. Our apps,
Yes.
GemPages is specializing in storefront customization. Like you can using the app to drag and drop to build like the homepage, product page, collection page, and all the things that Shopify team, that can be a little bit limited. So with the tool like GemPages, you can, freedomly to design the experience for the store, and more than that, in the 10 year in the space right now, we believe that the good design is not good enough. We trying to think, we trying to figure out and to answer the question how we can help smaller brands, the marketing team, Shopify store owner can leverage the design that build the better experience that really converts. So we think about how we can like really using our tool to optimize for conversion rate, because conversion rate is one of the most important factor for all the e-commerce brand. The first thing, when you're running like the ad, you trying to attract to the store, even the store is very beautiful, but you don't really get orders. From that point, at GemPages, we think about, okay, so we are not only trying to offer the designing tool, but we think about how to offer the analytic tool, data, A/B testing, and trying to implement all the best practice from all the bigger brand. So that means that we can leverage. You can help you to leverage all the capacity and everything to compete to in the very 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 crowded market today, and can build better storefront, better website, better funnel, that really sell.
Thank you for the summary, and
Yeah.
I agree. CRO is one of the most underrated skills in the e-commerce space, and GemPage is helping a lot of merchants to get better in that area. But before jumping into details, I would
Mm.
quickly go back to the beginning and ask you, how did the idea for GemPages originally come about? How did everything start?
That be very very good question. So back to 10 years ago when I start like building the Shopify app, I start from very simple pain point that even me myself facing how I can like faster to build a Shopify store, because you know that building a Shopify store require a lot of skill from copywriting, designing, you know, data analysis, and all the thing, all the technical side of of the issue. So I'm trying to figure out, okay, so is there any way that we can help merchant without a strong technical skill can build a store by themselves? So I started building GemPages. So I built the interface where we can drag and drop, like a very simple interface that everyone can learn and use the tool. And then gradually, like I mentioned earlier, uh, we don't stop. We want to make GemPages really a marketing tool, really like the funnel, like designing tool for client. So so our team and our product can really accompany with the store, all the brand, not that like the one off like designing just the storefront and then done. We done there, but we become the go-to tool for client in every marketing campaign. So for example, like you design the Shopify store, and then in the Mother Day, in the Father Day, in the BFCM, so all the all the holidays event that happen through the years. So you can using the tool like GemPages to build the convert high landing page and build the funnel that running the marketing campaign. So to sum up, uh, starting from 2 pain points. The first thing is how to customize the Shopify store without code. So we are trying to solve that. And the secondly is how we can like launching more marketing team without code. So GemPages can solve that both of the problem. And I think that is the two major like problem like every merchant, every brand like facing when running the e-commerce brand. So that's why I think that's why GemPages was welcomed by a lot of the 100,000 of the Shopify merchants so far. And I think that we will like continuously like to innovate our solution, trying to figure out that more the emerging you know problem coming, especially when the AI comes and it totally change the way like we run the e-commerce brand, totally change the consumer behavior. So so from time to time we are trying to solve the problem, and we're trying to improve our product, release more updates, and accompany with our client through their e-commerce journeys.
And when you started like building everything, was it meant to become a large SaaS company right from the start? Was it more like a side project for you, or did you go like all in?
That very good question. So I start small. I start very small. Yeah, and with everything I'm trying to build is like to bring values and trying to solve the real problem and creating the real values. So I stay closely with every single like user from the first day. So I myself one side like writing code, and another side I do like customer support. So I meet and I talk and I work with every single clients at that time. So I think that our clients was my great teacher. So they teach me everything. So they told me like their problem. And so I do listen. I did listen to all of the requests. And I'm trying to figure out how to improve. So I believe that we can start small, and then we can like gradually expanding. And I think that the first thing is to have the big vision, to have the big problem to solve. So I think that so every like merchant they do have the technical skill problem, and they have the they do need like to in supporting in terms of the technical thing, and Shopify has a lot of limitation in customization, so that is a big issue. So I'm trying to figure out, okay, so what kind of the issue like we trying to target on, is that large enough, is that big enough, and can we do that best? So I think, and then I'm trying to start small, but to thinking about like whether we are doing best and why like we are suitable for to become best in this like area, and why only us can solve this problem. So I'm trying to think to figure out, okay, so I have almost like before starting GemPages, I did have like more than 5 years like working in multiple e-commerce projects. So I do understand Magento, I understand what WordPress, Joomla, and all the open source e-commerce platform, and I really like understand the pain point. And then when it came to Shopify, it naturally is like that right fit for me. So I think that I'm the right one to build the product like GemPages at that time. And like I said, I start small and pay a lot of attention in customer service. And I think that customer service totally changed the way we grow, because clients, one side is a teacher, and other side they have to promote the product through like word of mouth marketing, to network from communities. So many of the first like GemPages user was also influencer. They are YouTubers. They are successful sellers. That back to 10 years ago. So many people is still in the first stage, in the early stage of the e-commerce. So today, I believe that today already became big and become bigger brands, successful brands. So at that time, when I do I do care in the customer service. So many clients did help us to grow without marketing, without like a lot of the effort in marketing. So I believe that customer service has changed everything for us.
Wow, that's a big lesson, like focusing on customers, of course. But I also feel like at the beginning, too many founders are focusing on marketing, on the product, which is of course necessary. But focusing on customer feedback probably is worth more at the end. And yeah, talking about the beginnings again, you started basically like a chef who was cooking all the meals by himself, like doing the customer support, coding, and so on and so forth. And looking back, do you think this was like the hardest phase during all those years, like doing everything just by yourself? Was this like the hardest phase in the journey so far?
So is it about like doing like one man's team or?
No, I was just recapping everything. So as you said at the beginning, you were starting slowly by yourself. You did the customer support, you were coding. Basically, you were like a chef who was cooking all the meals by himself in his own restaurant. And yeah, and my follow-up question was, looking back, do you think this was like the hardest time throughout the whole journey, like in the last 10 years?
Yeah, that is such an amazing journey for me, and I think that everything happened for a reason. Because when you start with small team, you can like to pay a lot of attention to the customer service, and you don't have to worry a lot about the operation, because uh, instead of like spending time on like operation, you can like spend more effort in the quality of the product, the quality of the service, and then you form the right process for scaling. Because if you don't have plan to scale the team, and to expanding the team like gradually, even you have very great marketing, you can like to attract a lot of the client coming to using the software. But if the software has a lot of bugs, has a lot of issue, and no one like to do the proper customer service, then everything broken. So I think that it requires a right system, requires the right operation to scale and to win in the long run. So at that time, I chose not to scale fast. I trying to form the very strong team, adding the right person, the right position, and then when we are ready to scale, we can like to scale harder, like in every aspect. marketing, customer service at the same time. So I think that everything takes time. So the advice for the founder and like me is like we don't need to be rushed. We need to find the right problem to solve and the big problem to solve, and then we pay attention to the customer service and the operation that scale, and then so I think that everything will happen.
Thank you. Another big lesson. So focusing more on quality than quantity, like not blowing up your marketing team right away, focusing more on the customer and their problems. That's a big lesson here. And another follow-up question is, looking back today, is there something you would do completely differently? Like, although you were growing slowly and taking your time, is there something you would do differently?
Yeah, that good thing. Good question. So I think that every state of growth we need a different strategy. For example, like in the early days, we can like to pay attention to the product and the service and building the team, the right team. But when you have the branding, when you have a lot of competitor coming and building maybe the same product like you, offering the same services and completely directly to you. So we think about how to really make our brand, our product, our service like different from other. So I think that it is kind of the layer of the mod, like the layer of the mod. The first thing is the product service, and then going to be like could be like the performance, the experience. So that means that you build the product, okay, you build service, and now you adding a layer of the experience, the layer of the performance, and now you can like to adding the layer of the for example, like at GemPages, we're trying to build a strong community here in the APAC. That's something very hard to copy, very hard to clone. And then we can think about the another layer of it could be like the vertical layer, could be like the specializing in some industry need. For example, like fashion can be like the beauty, supplements, skincare. Always think about how to differentiate like the brand from other and working towards everything, streamline everything to that goals to make like yourself, the company like really different, really unique comparing to the the others.
Yeah, so you are looking for things that other founders or companies cannot copy that easy, right?
Yeah. So to do that, we need to have different layer of the USP, like the sell, like really like the unique like selling points come from because technology we can clone. Yeah, the good product we can clone, but the mindset and the positioning is everything. So like whether you focusing on like the serious brand, focusing on the SME or maybe like enterprise. So we need to be very very focused, like to be very disciplined, like working toward to the positioning. So position, I believe that positioning is everything when it come to compete to the competitor and the rival. So I think the thing about that. So that is a lesson I has been learning for many years so far. So today we are trying to really focus on like to build a very 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 unique, very completed like the CRO solution, for example. So we are trying to identify ourselves as one of the best like CRO platform in the e-commerce space. To do that, we build products, we build service, and we build partnership network, and we build community, and we build technology like surround that. We apply the AI and everything. So every move, every step we do, we differentiate like ourselves from other single Shopify app out there because we provide the ecosystem, we provide the best solution that shown one thing very good, that one problem very good. That is a conversion rate optimization.
I see. I think it's the right approach to push more for community as well, especially in times where AI is coming, like is pushing forward in every industry. And talking about AI, you already mentioned it. How do you think AI will change e-commerce over the next few years and GemPages and especially?
It is very hard to say, because AI today is developing with a very fast pace, and I think that it very hard to say how AI will come, but it, that in mm, principally, what to say, we can like to see how like AI can like to change like everything in general. For example, the first thing is the consumer behavior. Yeah. So the consumer behavior will change. So they will like rely more on the AI for shopping decision. So e-commerce brand should ensure that our visibility on the chatbot like shopping or tool like ChatGPT, Gemini, Cloud Code, on the clause, on the perplexity or something like that. So maybe the traditional SEO are not like working like effectively like before. So we can think about that, and that is a consumer behavior, and also the way of the personalization. I think that AI will take the personalization to the next level. So like before, like people like they can go into the website and they can like trying to search for the right product, and that take a lot of time. But today with the AI, like the in as a shopping assistant, so they can like to do understand deeply every single visitor coming to the website, uh, and going to the funnel. So I think that personalization could be the key in the upcoming like e-commerce chain. That we
I
should
see.
like to pay attention to. And I know so many company, even like GemPages, we are trying uh, to improve. We're trying to release more feature that can really personalize the customers like funnel customer journey. For example, like going to website and we can really know like who you are and what you like pay attention for and what you care about, and then how we can like to show the right message at the right time, show the offer at the right place as well. So from that point we can like really to bring the right product to the client and can really to improve the conversion rate.
Amazing. So this is one of the new features you are building currently, or is it already shipped, like the AI features in GemPages?
So starting from this year, so as you also already know, so Cloud Code and Codec and all the agentic like coding platform that can totally change the way we build the software. So that today everyone like every team, every e-commerce team, every brand can really like to build the tool like the small tool like the operating tool like internally. That means that everyone today can write coding like some tool that have to optimize for their workflow for their business. And for the bigger team, like for the product team, like app builder or something, even at GemPages today, we build software based on the agentic like coding platform. So that means that the speed for production is shorter than before. So like maybe like before, like the circle of the product development could be take like 6 months or maybe a year for the new version of the software. But today we may only take like 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months. So that means that the speed of development is also the speed of value. So we are now like building like on the platform. We are now today like speed up on the execution plan so we can build the whole like ecosystem. So we are trying to build the whole ecosystem right now. Like it can be called like the storefront OS, like the storefront operating system. So we can help you to build the whole storefront, and we can like to collab with CRO experts like your team to read the data, to work with the AI, to discuss with the AI, to make the optimization decision. For example, like AI can read the data and to understand the customer journey, and then the AI can suggest like different campaign, suggest the different like optimization hypothesis, and then the AI can like can uh, can uh, can really like to execute on the implementation on the change, like from from the website storefront, like, or maybe like to build the landing page for us, or to customize the CTA button or something like that. So everything that can be done like uh, without like touching, without like without human. So the key here is that like we're trying to build a platform like that, and we are trying to working with the experts like the CIO experts, so we can like to forming up to be the team, and we can leverage the power of the AI, and then we can like to leverage the uh, humans like experts and the know-how combined together, and then we can like to make the decision, and then we can like to automate on the marketing activity. So I think that so every brand today that can leverage the right AI tool, so we can like to go much faster than other competitor. Especially if we are the smaller brand, so we can be more flexible. We can be very in the way we change, the way we adapt the technology, and I think that is a very good opportunity for everyone, like and every brand who can really like uh, you know mm, in AI and applying the AI for e-commerce.
Amazing. I think this is like a major advantage of GemPages, because some of the people, or most of the people, don't even know that there is not only GemPages, there is also GemX. Is there another app as well right now,
Yeah,
or only those
yes.
two?
So we want to release something like the GemOS, because you know that the GemOS is a storefront platform. So we don't stop at like the page building like tool. We are not like stopping as a data analytic tool or A/B testing tool, but we want to have the s- storefront like operating system, so it can really build, it can really like to customize, it can really like to make decision by itself. So it really like a self-driving storefront. So that means that the storefront can really act, really think, and really analyze everything. But the question is, do we need human there? We need expert there. We need um like the founder that really understands the market. So I think that the AI like cannot like to 100% replace the, again, cannot replace 100% the human, but we need like a solid team of the experts, and we need a solid team of the of the team that can really understand the customer, can really understand the industry, working with the AI. So that is the goal we are trying to build right now, and I expect that in very short, as soon as possible in this year, so we can really to make the great announcements. And we are organizing the ShopX like event as well in the Asia, and I think that that is a good time for us to announce like Zem OS, GemPages, GemX, and all the ecosystem together.
That would be amazing. Tell me more about
Uh,
the event. When is the event and what is it about?
Yeah, yeah. So that the event is I would say that the event could be the another like the mod for our company. It's a community, because a community is something that AI cannot replace. So that's why so our team trying to one side to build the mod for the company, but us other side is trying to return the value to the community. That means that we really want to build a great community here in the APAC, because we have many community in the Europe, in the North America, but I feel like they're missing like real community here in the APAC. Whilst APAC is very dynamic, like e-commerce platform, very young and dynamic, like e-commerce environment and the market, because we have China. China is a hub of the product, the sourcing product to the everywhere in the world, and we have that in China we have more than 100 like thousand Shopify brand they're selling overseas, and we have the Japan. Japan is among the top 10 like community here in Shopify. So and Japan, they that in Japan, people buy or either on the Shopify or maybe on Amazon. We have Australia, and we have the Southeast Asia, Vietnam, like Singapore, Malaysia. So I believe that this is a huge market for us. So we are trying to figure out the way that we can gather the AI builder, the Shopify app builder, the agency experts, CRO experts, and upsell experts. Also, the D2C brand, D2C operators, and everything come together in one room. So I think that there are lots of opportunity for partnership, for collaboration, and to push each other to grow in the season. So that's why from starting from last year, we organized our first like Shop event, and I believe that we got more successful than expected. So this year we want to make it like bigger, and we're trying to invite not only like the guests from APAC, but we invite top speaker, expert from everywhere in the world coming there, sharing their lesson, trying to connecting and helping each other. So yeah, so if everyone here like want to join our room, you can like to schedule to book the flight. The event should be happening on September 17, and I'm trying to send the link in after our meeting today.
Yes, perfect. I will paste it as well. And yeah, talking about building communities, you were mentioning the live event. Is this something you're putting all your focus on when it comes to community building? Because I know you have some school communities as well. You have some Facebook groups. You have all kinds of sub communities. But are those live events something you want to put more focus on in the near future?
Yeah, so I think that the face-to-face event, the offline event
Mm.
is something that I really want to make that happen, because the offline event can really like to bring people like to have real interaction and to can meet each other. So beside like on the online webinars, on the or maybe the bigger shopping event, I'm trying to collaborate with the partners in the season to organize more like coffee chat. The coffee chat
Mm.
event, that it kind of the event that can gather like everyone coming together, not the very big ones, but small but high quality event. So people come there sharing their lesson, sharing their mistake, and yeah, like I said, helping each other. So I have been doing some of the coffee chat, and I see very very great atmosphere here, and I really want to work with my team and the partner to organize more like activity like that. The event like this happening a lot in China, in some like country here in APAC, and I want to spread that. I want that happening in the Vietnam, in the Singapore, Australia, yeah, and hopefully we can like to have more partner to organize that kind of great this activity with us in the future.
Something that just came up spontaneously. Do you see any difference in customer behavior when it comes to the Asian and the European or the US market? Like people who are buying things online, are there some patterns that are differently?
Yeah, a lot of different, because the behavior, the culture like varies like through the season. That is the first thing that like to impact to the consumer behavior. For example, like we has been like helping a lot of the South America countries, like the Spanish speaking country, like in the Colombia, in the Peru, Argentina, Brazil. Yeah, so the it's a, so we learned that even like the way we build the landing page, the way we build Shopify store is totally like different from you know other like season. And for example, like the people in the South America, people like prefer to work in the community, in the tend to just like friend, and to appreciate the word of mouth marketing. And WhatsApp is also the most popular like marketing tool in the season. So from that point, I believe that the marketing strategy, the selling strategy could be like different from US, for example. In the US, you can like really like to run and to build the landing page and run directly, but in the Latin America, uh, we could like to have different approach. For example, like in terms of the payments, like the people in South America like prefer like COD payment. So that means that you should have like option for COD if you want to sell to South America. So while like US, you can have more like payment option. For example, like Shopify, PayPal, or something like that. But if you are applying the same technique for the different market, so I believe that it is not really working like effectively.
Very interesting insight. Thank you.
Mm.
And yeah, before we wrap up, I'd love to ask you one more personal question, if you don't mind. And that is, after 10 years, what still motivates you building such a successful company?
That is a very hard question, but a very interesting question, you know. For me, so I work because of my customer, because I want to see my customer like successful. I want to see more brand growing from now to become 6, 7, 8, even 9 figure. So that is an amazing journey, and I'm very happy to be part of that. So I'm not selling, but I'm a builder. I'm the builder, so I'm trying to figure out how I can help, how I can build the right tool, right technology that I can really accompany, and like I said, to be part of that. That make even me myself and my company will proud of that.
Amazing. I can tell you put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this project for the last 10 years, and I can feel you're really passionate about this project and your customers. So yeah, thank you for the insights, Chris. Thanks again for taking time. I really enjoyed this conversation, and yeah, talk to you soon.
Yeah, talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.